What is up, guys? My name is Wumbo, and today I want to talk about some news that is just a tad bit infuriating. Specifically, if you're a PlayStation owner, this news is a little bit concerning. So Xbox One players have been playing Fallout 4 with mod support for months now. The gaming community provides those Xbox players with tons of new content for Fallout 4 via this mod support that was created by Bethesda. Just to make sure we're on the same page, Bethesda is the gaming company that creates Fallout and the Elder Scrolls series, and Bethesda actually announced at E3 back in June that they were going to be bringing that mod support from Xbox to PlayStation. Bethesda was hoping that they would be able to provide the same experience on Xbox One to PlayStation in terms of mod support on consoles, and they made that announcement when they released their remastered Elder Scrolls Skyrim Special Edition. But a few weeks after that E3 announcement, Bethesda quickly ran into some technological trouble. Bethesda admitted to running into problems with memory. There were performance issues on the PS4. They struggled with the PS4's sound file format. Sony actually imposed mod storage limits of 900 megabytes, and the Xbox One actually allows 2 full gigabytes of mod support storage. And despite all of these difficulties, by the end of June, Bethesda was close to ready for a closed beta. Bethesda was planning at the end of June to have a closed beta for PlayStation mod support. Now, that plan for the closed beta never actually happened because the beta was delayed indefinitely, likely due to those technological problems I mentioned. But we have some even worse news today. So it seems like mod support for the PlayStation has been completely scrapped. Specifically, it's been scrapped for Fallout and for Elder Scrolls, but based on the information we have, it sounds like Sony isn't going to allow mod support on its console at all. So Bethesda actually released an official statement on their website regarding this issue. So here's what they said. This is really interesting. After months of discussion with Sony, we regret to say that while we have long been ready to offer mod support on PlayStation 4, Sony has informed us they will not approve user mods the way they should work, where users can do anything they want for either Fallout 4 or Skyrim Special Edition. Like you, we are disappointed by Sony's decision given the considerable time and effort we have put into this project, and the amount of time our fans have waited for mod support to arrive. We consider this an important initiative, and we hope to find other ways user mods can be available for our PlayStation audience. However, until Sony will allow us to offer proper mod support for PS4, that content for Fallout 4 and Skyrim on PlayStation 4 will not be available. So there you go. Mod support for the PlayStation 4, specifically for Fallout and Elder Scrolls, is no longer going to be happening. Pretty disappointing in and of itself, but perhaps the most concerning part of this whole thing is that Sony is the one that vetoed the mod support. The interesting thing is that Sony allowed this mod support to happen. They allowed Bethesda to announce that they were going to have mod support. They allowed Bethesda to work on mod support for months, and then finally, just now, they decided to cancel it. So there's obviously something that happened in that time span that convinced Sony that mod support wasn't going to be a thing they could do. So here's what I think went down. I think Bethesda approached Sony. They said, hey, we want to add mod support for these games on your consoles. Sony said, sure, that sounds great. Our users will love that. So Bethesda started working on it. And then they ran into these problems with the PS4's technological abilities. So Bethesda would approach Sony and say, hey, you have a problem with this. This isn't working. Sony would say, okay, well, that's just the way our console works, so work around it. So Bethesda would try to come up with a solution. They'd figure out something. And then they would find another problem. They would approach Sony and say, hey, you know, you got a problem with your sound or you got a problem with your storage. And Sony would say, hey, well, that's just the way our console works, so you're going to have to deal with it. And this would just happen over and over. And I think maybe it came to a point that Sony finally decided, Bethesda, we're not going to be able to support mods. We just don't have that ability with the way we built our consoles. But I anticipate a lot of people saying that the reason Sony vetoed mod support is because they didn't want to have to deal with filtering out inappropriate community content. The problem I have with that idea is that Microsoft is filtering out inappropriate community content for their mod support. They've been supporting Bethesda mods for months now. So why is Sony not able to do it? Why would Sony just let Microsoft have that to offer, say, hey, we have mod support, and why would Sony not just accept the fact that they're going to have to filter out some stuff? I just don't see that as a convincing reason for Sony saying, well, we can't add mod support because then we'd have to filter stuff, and that requires too much effort. From a business standpoint, that just wouldn't make sense. And so therefore, with the information we have, I think the reasonable assumption is that Sony just didn't have the technological abilities Not in terms of like raw performance power, but just the way they constructed their operating system, their console itself, to support mods. They just didn't have that ability. There were too many restrictions, and it just couldn't end up happening. Some people are going to be really mad at Sony because of this news. Some people are going to say, I don't really care. Let me know what you guys think about mod support for consoles in the comment section. But that's basically all I have for today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and a comment. And if you really enjoyed it, make sure to find that subscribe button. My name is Wumbo. I'll see you next time.